We're kicking things off today with Sami Zayn and Solo Sikoa's escalating rivalry as the two clashed in SmackDown's main event for the United States Championship. Solo Sikoa controlled the early stretch, wearing Zayn down until his MFT backup, Talatonga, Tongaloa, and JC Mateo stepped in to tilt the odds. Jimmy Uso rushed in to even things up but was quickly outnumbered before Jacob Fatu's arrival shifted the momentum. Even after the chaos, Sikoa maintained control and connected with a top rope splash, but Zayn kicked out at 2. The challenger avoided the Samoan spike, delivered an exploder suplex into the corner, and followed with back-to-back haluva kicks to capture his first United States Championship as the Leon crowd erupted. The result was a shock, given WWE rarely pulls the trigger on major title changes without a long build, yet this could be a calculated step in positioning Zayn for bigger things. If WWE envisions a Royal Rumble victory and perhaps a World Championship run at WrestleMania, this US title reign can serve as the proving ground, elevating him through strong victories and preparing him for the main event stage. Still, the timing left some loose ends. The Fatu-Sikoa rivalry seemed destined for a definitive conclusion, likely with Fatu regaining the gold. Instead, WWE swerved expectations, leaving questions about what's next for the Samoan werewolf. His presence remains a unique asset, but it'll take careful booking to keep him in the right spotlight. Despite the uncertainties, this was an emotional night defined by a passionate crowd and a career-defining victory for one of WWE's most beloved stars. Sami Zayn's journey has reached a new milestone, and fans now wait to see if this momentum carries him into the world title picture. What do you think? Was WWE right to give Sami Zayn the US title here, or should the story with Fatu and Sikoa have played out differently? Now, Chris Jericho's future in wrestling continues to spark speculation, and talk of a possible WWE return has picked up after an interesting moment in France. Ahead of this week's SmackDown at the LDLC Arena in Lyon, footage surfaced online showing Jericho's iconic WWE theme song being played outside the venue. The clip quickly spread, with fans debating whether it was a deliberate tease or just a coincidence. With Jericho's AEW contract set to expire later this year, the timing has only added fuel to the rumors. Whether WWE is leaving the door open or it was simply a playful nod remains to be seen. Do you think Chris Jericho is truly on his way back to WWE, or was this just a coincidence? John Cena and Logan Paul's rivalry exploded on SmackDown as Paul boasted that WWE's billion-dollar deals with Netflix and ESPN happened solely because of him. Calling himself the Great Disruptor, Paul claimed he was the true face of wrestling, but the Leon crowd buried him in chants of "You Logan," and he's an asshole. Cena then arrived to a massive, and we mean massive, ovation for his final Leon appearance. He cut Paul down, mocking his brass knuckles reliance, comparing him to Cena's own old Doctor of Thugonomics persona, and branding him a dollar store John Cena. Cena went further, accusing Paul of using WWE to fix his fading image, declaring, "You're not here to save wrestling, you're here to save your own ass." In a powerful moment, Cena entered the crowd to apologize to a young Belgian fan he once insulted, earning loud respect from Lyon. Paul, unfazed, mocked him with "Make-A-Wish to Break-A-Wish," but Cena stood tall, reminding Paul that Clash in Paris is his request, and warning that he only has 2 nights left before wrestling ruins him. The segment stood out as vintage John Cena, fiery, passionate, and brutally honest in a way few others can match. He not only elevated the feud but sold their Clash in Paris encounter as one of the marquee matches of the night. Logan Paul held his ground as the arrogant heel, but this was a reminder of why Cena's connection with live crowds remains unmatched. Adding to the electricity of the moment, both men spoke a few words in French, earning loud cheers from the Lyon audience. According to PW Insider, it was Cena himself who requested that a child be involved in this storyline moment, with the angle planned weeks in advance. Fans may recall how this callback ties directly to Cena's darker turn earlier in the year. On the March 17th episode of Raw, Cena shocked viewers with a scathing promo following his Elimination Chamber heel turn, lashing out at the WWE Universe as toxic and dysfunctional. He even targeted this young boy in the crowd decked out in Cena gear, leaving the child stunned and breaking the hearts of viewers watching at home. The following week, Cena doubled down, calling the boy the clueless kid he had to put to blast. To Cena's credit, the young fan later admitted he was honored to be singled out by the legend, showing just how layered this storyline has become. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. A sixth match has officially been added to WWE Clash in Paris. On SmackDown, it was confirmed that the Wyatt Six's Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy will defend their WWE Tag Team Championships against the Street Profits. The history between the two teams is already strong, as Lumis and Gacy originally took the belts from Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins back in July on SmackDown. The setup for this rematch came on Friday night when the Profits faced Carmelo Hayes and The Miz in a #1 Contenders bout. Before the match, Bo Dallas made yet another chilling appearance. This time he stepped out without the Uncle Howdy mask and confronted Ford and Dawkins directly, questioning the strength of their bond. He asked whether the blood of one truly runs through the veins of the other, leaving the Profits visibly unsettled. Later in the night, Dallas crossed paths with Hayes and The Miz. Though Miz was in the room, Bo's attention stayed fixed on Hayes. Locking eyes, Dallas declared that perception isn't reality, but that he is. Many fans interpreted the moment as a possible warning to Hayes, suggesting that Miz may not be the ally he appears to be. When the #1 Contenders match began, Dallas and the Wyatt Six made their presence felt once again. Their distraction at ringside came at a key moment, with Uncle Howdy diverting Miz's focus just as Hayes needed the tag. That lapse opened the door for Ford and Dawkins to strike, hitting the Revelation before Dawkins scored the pinfall on Hayes. After the victory, the Street Profits stood tall in the ring, but the celebration quickly turned tense as Lumis, Gacy, and the rest of the Wyatt Six surrounded them. The stare-down set the stage for Sunday's showdown in Paris, with questions swirling about whether the Profits can stay united long enough to reclaim the titles, or if this will be the night their partnership finally unravels. And with Carmelo Hayes and The Miz still lingering in the background, another question remains: could their interference at Clash in Paris be the deciding factor that costs Ford and Dawkins the gold? Interesting news about the Wyatt Six, as Bo Dallas is keeping the door open when it comes to the future of his faction. During an appearance on The Takedown with Sports Illustrated, the former NXT Tag Team Champion addressed the idea of potentially expanding the group, with many fans specifically wondering if Alexa Bliss could be involved. Dallas made it clear that while the group feels strong with its current direction, nothing is completely off the table. He explained, "I'm not discounting anything in the future, and anything can happen, but right now, we feel solid where we're at right now, and we got a lot of stuff to do. Everything's already in motion, and I would just say everybody pay attention for the future, because it's about to get crazy." With those words, Dallas is teasing that big developments are already lined up, leaving fans buzzing about possible twists ahead. Do you think Alexa Bliss should join the faction, or should Dallas keep things as they are? In the second face-to-face in-ring promo of the night, Randy Orton stood across from Drew McIntyre just 1 week after flooring the Scottish Warrior with an RKO in Dublin. McIntyre wasted no time warning the Viper about Cody Rhodes, insisting that the reigning undisputed WWE champion is not a friend, but an opportunist looking to exploit him for his own gain. Tensions quickly escalated, and as expected, things turned physical. Orton reminded everyone why he's a future Hall of Famer, delivering RKOs to anyone who crossed his path before standing tall to close the segment. The booking weaved Rhodes seamlessly into McIntyre's rivalry, while also setting the stage for Orton as a potential challenger to the American Nightmare, a layered bit of storytelling that many would argue is some of Triple H's sharpest creative work in recent months. Michael Cole and Wade Barrett even had fun on commentary, exclaiming "Hurricane" as Orton hit yet another RKO to cap the chaos. With so much happening, the landscape is shifting quickly, so which feud has your attention the most right now? Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes, or Orton versus Cody Rhodes? Sound off in the comments below. Away from the ring, Rhodes is making headlines of a very different kind. Cody and his wife Brandi have just welcomed their second child, a daughter named Leilani Ella Rhodes. Brandi shared the news with a heartfelt Instagram post, while Cody posted a photo of their 4-year-old daughter Liberty proudly wearing a big sister hat. The couple had kept the pregnancy under wraps, making the reveal a genuine surprise for fans. Unless something happens in the last minute, Rhodes' absence at Clash in Paris is almost certain. Anyways, from everyone here at Slat Rock Wrestling, congratulations to Cody, Brandi, and their growing family. Before SmackDown got underway, General Manager Nick Aldis announced that Piper Niven was unavailable for the night, though no further details were given. Instead, Chelsea Green stepped in to compete. The show saw chaos erupt when Green and Alba Fire ambushed the women's tag team champions Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair before their scheduled title defense. The attack left Flair nursing a knee injury, forcing officials to escort her to the back and turning the bout into a singles contest between Bliss and Green. Alexa managed to score the win, but the post-match scene took a turn when Charlotte returned to back up her partner. Despite her efforts, she was clearly struggling and even favored the wrong leg at one stage. That misstep opened the door for Chelsea Green and Alba Fire to regain control, leaving them standing tall to end the segment. The advertised tag team title match will likely happen down the road, but for now, the feud is far from over. Raja Jackson's planned appearance at an independent wrestling event has already hit a major roadblock. The controversial star was announced for Danger Pro Wrestling, but that booking now appears unlikely to move forward. On Wrestling Observer Live, Brian Alvarez reported that the venue hosting the event, Queen Bee's Banquet Hall in North Park, San Diego, has refused to allow Jackson in the building. Alvarez explained that the venue made it clear Jackson isn't welcome, and if the promotion insisted on using him, they risked losing access to the location altogether. The backlash surrounding Jackson has been ongoing since his brutal assault on Psycho Stu, which left fans outraged at the idea of him returning to the ring. While some may be relieved that his appearance won't happen, the bigger question now is whether any other promotions will be willing to take the risk of booking him given the negative reaction. Do you think any company will actually go through with bringing Raja Jackson back, or is he too toxic to be booked again? Vince McMahon's camp has issued a firm response after new allegations surfaced this week. Former WWE writer Dan St. Germain claimed on a podcast that during a European tour, McMahon engaged in sexual acts with the late Ashley Massaro aboard an aircraft and even ordered WWE personnel to watch from the tarmac. The disturbing story gains traction quickly, especially given Massaro's past accusations against WWE before her passing in 2019. McMahon's representatives were quick to issue a strong denial, calling the account completely false. Questions about the allegations' credibility also emerged, with many pointing out that St. Germain's tenure with WWE did not overlap with Massaro's time in the company. That timeline has led some to believe the story may not hold weight. The controversy comes at a time when McMahon is already under legal fire, facing a lawsuit from former employee Janelle Grant that includes serious allegations of sexual misconduct and trafficking. Even without direct evidence to support this latest claim, the accusation further adds to the cloud of scrutiny surrounding his legacy. For now, McMahon's camp stands firm in denial, but the allegations continue to fuel debate across the wrestling world. What do you think? Will these new claims add pressure to McMahon's ongoing legal battles, or will they fade without evidence to back them up? Back to SmackDown as two major contenders stepped forward as Mia Yim and Jade Cargill each secured paths towards championship gold. Mia Yim's opportunity came quickly and decisively. With the stipulation in place that she had to get through Julia's manager before earning her shot, Yim wasted no time in dismantling Kiana James. The match was over in just 7 seconds, sending a clear message to the United States champion that she's next in line. Jade Cargill, on the other hand, didn't need to fight to prove her case. After teaming with Tiffany Stratton last week in a winning effort against Nia Jax and Becky Lynch, Cargill revealed that she had been made #1 contender for Stratton's WWE Women's Championship. The announcement quickly set the stage for a heated exchange between the two. In a backstage segment, Stratton was quick to remind Cargill that she had already beaten her once, pointing back to their clash at SummerSlam and claiming that she remained the only undefeated star this year. Cargill wasn't rattled, firing back that Stratton had no business speaking about streaks and vowing to take the title when they meet again. As of now, WWE has yet to confirm when either of these championship matches will take place. With Clash in Paris already set with 5 matches this Sunday, attention may instead turn to WrestlePalooza on September 20th as a potential landing spot for both bouts. With the women's division heating up, the question is clear: will Mia Yim and Jade Cargill both rise to the occasion and claim gold, or will Julia and Stratton prove too tough to dethrone when the time comes? Aleister Black and Damian Priest each had spotlight segments on tonight's show, with Black featured in a dark video vignette while Priest delivered a backstage promo. Despite the continued build-up between the two, WWE has yet to officially announce their match for Clash in Paris. Given the momentum of their rivalry, it comes as a surprise that the bout isn't already confirmed for the event. Do you think WWE should make this showdown official for Clash in Paris, or hold off for WrestlePalooza instead? Bronson Reed's ongoing gag about stealing Roman Reigns' shoes took another turn this week, and it now involves WWE merchandise. Reed was recently given a new shirt featuring sneakers resembling Air Jordans, but that design has already been pulled. According to WrestleVotes, the shirt Reed wore on last week's Monday Night Raw was quietly removed from WWE shop after fans noticed the sneakers looked almost identical to Jordan's Spizikes. WWE has since released a modified version of the shirt without the sneakers. The change appears to be tied to copyright concerns involving Nike and the Jordan brand. The commentary desk on this week's SmackDown in Lyon, France had a noticeable change as Joe Tessitore, the 54-year-old broadcaster who recently became the voice of SmackDown, was absent from his usual role. In his place, WWE relied on the legendary Michael Cole, who joined Wade Barrett for the night. Tessitore's absence wasn't tied to any issues behind the scenes, it was simply a planned time off. Over the past few months, his pairing with Barrett has been well received, especially with his work on Saturday night's main event and post-PLE coverage. WWE expects Tessitore to return to SmackDown next week, resuming his regular role on commentary. And that wraps up SmackDown this week. What did you think of the show? Were you surprised by the championship changing hands? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Carlito is not holding back when it comes to WWE's approach to the Latino audience, as he recently called out the company for failing to understand the culture and diversity of its fans. Speaking on Molusco TV, Carlito openly criticized WWE, Vince McMahon, and the current regime for their lack of awareness. He recalled his conversations with Vince, saying, "What I've been saying for years, even back when I told Vince, WWE doesn't know the Latino market. People think because Vince is the owner, he's in control of everything, but even he told me, that's the problem. We don't know Latinos. We don't know the culture. WWE thinks if it's Mexico, it's just Mexicans. If it's Puerto Rico, it's only Puerto Ricans. They don't get how it all mixes, how diverse our culture really is, especially in wrestling. They still don't understand the Latino audience. They're ignorant of the Latino experience. I think they thought in Mexico, Mexicans only care about Mexicans and Puerto Ricans only care about Puerto Ricans. They don't understand the connection Latinos have." Carlito explained that WWE's biggest issue is the lack of Latino representation behind the scenes. Without Latino writers, bosses, or decision makers, the company struggles to authentically connect with its audience. He believes this shortfall has held back what could have been major opportunities for WWE, whether with Dominic Mysterio or others. He also pointed out that WWE missed a chance to work with AAA, a partnership he felt could have been seamless given his own history in the promotion, his fluency in Spanish, and his connection with their fan base. For Carlito, ignoring that possibility was a significant lost opportunity. After WWE chose not to renew his contract, Carlito moved on, but his message remains clear: the company has room to improve when it comes to understanding Latino fans. Whether WWE listens is another matter, but his perspective highlights a conversation many believe has been overlooked. Do you agree with Carlito that WWE doesn't fully understand the Latino audience? What steps should they take to connect more authentically with Latino fans around the world? Now, Liv Morgan has been away from WWE for an extended period, and while speculation about her return has been ongoing, a new report suggests fans may not see her back in a special role anytime soon. The discussion centered around whether WWE could bring Morgan back in a non-wrestling capacity. However, the report explained why the company typically avoids placing injured superstars in such roles. When a talent is sidelined, WWE has the ability to freeze their contracts during the injury layoff. If that superstar is instead used in an on-screen, non-wrestling role, the contract continues to run as normal. In other words, appearances outside the ring would keep the deal active, which WWE generally chooses to avoid. The report further noted that WWE often prefers to save these absences for dramatic in-ring comebacks. Major returns after injuries create big moments, and the company values the impact of those surprises. If Morgan were to be brought back without wrestling, she would likely be placed in a significant on-screen role, but that doesn't appear to be the current direction. Do you think WWE should wait for a dramatic in-ring return for Liv Morgan, or would you like to see her back in a non-wrestling role to keep her presence alive on TV? And we're ending with AEW, as on a recent episode of Rule Breakers with Saraya, Deonna Purrazzo opened up about her frustrations with how AEW has handled her run so far. Purrazzo believes AEW missed a major opportunity to establish her on-screen identity. Known as the Virtuosa, Purrazzo felt that when she transitioned from TNA to AEW, the company didn't properly explain her character to a broader television audience. She pointed out that while long-term fans understood her persona, many casual AEW viewers were left without context. According to her, vignettes or character-building segments could have introduced her personality and style, but despite pitching several ideas, none were produced. As a result, Purrazzo admitted that she initially felt like just another name on the roster rather than a fully developed presence. To combat that, she took matters into her own hands, producing 3 self-made vignettes with help from her husband, Steve Macklin, and former TNA creative Robert Evans. For Purrazzo, it was essential to ensure that fans understood the Virtuosa, even if AEW wasn't providing that narrative push. Do you think AEW dropped the ball with Deonna Purrazzo? Please share your thoughts and feedback in the comments section below.